Before I leave to meet with a property owner and walk through a few buildings, I check a couple things off my to-do list. Picking up the small toolbox George lent me, I walk down the hall and pause at the fourth banister. I take a wrench and tighten the bolts at the bottom, putting some elbow grease behind it until the wrought iron no longer squeaks. Next, with George's help and disapproval, I set about replacing the light bulbs in the stairway chandelier.
Mr. Maverick, George starts. I'll get to this. There is no need for you to...
His comments trail off as I ascend the ladder. I have no doubt he would replace the bulbs, but to reach the fixture, the ladder has to be precariously balanced on the edge of the landing leading to the second floor. There was no way I was going to let him climb it. No worries, George. It'll only take me a second. Reaching the top, I look down at him and give him a reassuring smile. So much about him reminds me of my grandpa. Salt of the earth, hard worker, stubborn as a mule.
Miss Carys won't...
he begins, but stops when the ladder wiggles. I laugh, partly due to nerves and partly due to his mention of Carys.
Miss Carys won't what, George? Like that I'm fixing her light fixture?
I ask, breathing heavy for such a menial task.
I think she'll get over it when the foyer is once again bright and shiny. Toss me a rag and I'll give it a good dusting while I'm up here.
George huffs and mutters under his breath, but he retrieves a rag and tosses it to me, all while holding on to the ladder with one hand, refusing to let it go. George and I make a pretty good team. Once we've stored the ladder back in the maintenance closet, I grab my bag and phone. I'll see you this afternoon, I tell him, stopping for a glass of water and pausing. Where did these come from? On the small cart, where the ice-cold, fruit-infused water always sits, there is a plate of bright blue macarons. My mouth immediately starts to drool. I'm not sure if it's the memory of how good the small cookies are, or the vision of Carys covered in flour and sugar, looking more delicious than I can even put in words. Regardless, I instinctively grab one and pop it in my mouth. The entire cookie. I don't have time for bites and nibbles. I need the whole thing.
Miss Carys. Apparently she couldn't sleep last night.
I smirk at the wall in front of me, thankful my back is turned to George because I couldn't look him in the eye while having sinful thoughts about someone he considers a granddaughter. Snagging 2 more for the road, I mumble around the cookie in my mouth.
Can you tell her thank you and that I'll be back later? Oh, and give her this.
Quickly, I slip the note out of my pocket and turn back around to hand it to George, who is giving me a sly smile. Will do, he says with a nod. Waving over my shoulder, I head out the door and into the early New Orleans morning. After mine and Carys's little tryst in the office yesterday, I spent the rest of the afternoon working in the lobby, while she worked the front desk and got some office work done. I just wanted to be close to her, hear her laugh when talking to guests, and catch her glances when she threw them my way. When I couldn't stop fidgeting from wanting to touch her so badly, I went for a run. I needed it. I've neglected my workouts the past week, and I can tell. When I got back, Carys was talking with Jules, and they were going over the schedule for next week, so I left them to it. Went back to my room, showered, jerked off, and fell asleep early. I didn't mean for that to happen. My intentions were to find Carys and spend the night with her, but my plans were foiled. Again, I'm starting to feel like the universe is against us being together. But then I remind myself that it allowed me to find this place. So I'm banking on fate just taking its slow, easy time. But I'm also a guy who takes fate into his own hands, so I left her a note. Mess. I'm tired of eating alone. Please accompany me to dinner tonight. I'll be in your lobby at 7 o'clock sharp. Also, the beds at the Blue Bayou are spectacular. Would you like to sleep in mine? Mav. In reality, I've only known Carys for a little over